Hello everybody, it's Slinky here, and I'm going to try and keep this really short and sweet. I know more of you, or some of you watching this, will want more of an in-depth talk on this, on my findings. This is the follow-up video to the first video that I did on the Aqua Rio Neo Flow premium set that I bought from Horizon Aquatics. Really good set, £45 roughly, give or take a penny. Yes, but I bought this set for a number of reasons. I had a couple of boxes that wanted ticking, and one of them was I was sick of having glass lily pipes that stuck halfway out into the tank. Big ugly things, but they're made the way they are because they're made of quite a brittle material like glass. These are made from plastic, so they're really durable. You can bend and manipulate these, you can cut them down really well to suit your tank. This is quite a high tank. This is a 40cm tank, and I had to cut probably, I can't see, I think I've thrown the off cut, but I had to cut a good 4 or 5 inches off the bottom of the inflow pipe, which you see here. I had to cut 4 or 5 inches off to suit this tank. I wanted the inflow strainer to be as close to the bottom as I could do. Now, quick touch on that. Really good inflow slotted section here that just slides on. You can take this part off, cut your pipe down, slide it back on to suit the depth of your aquarium. These are slotted. Aqua Rio, in the last month or so, have designed a baby shrimp set. So it doesn't have slots on it, has little pinholes, lots of little pinholes to save your little baby shrimp from being sucked up, which is a really top idea from Aqua Rio. A very innovative company. And I'm hoping they're going to have a look at redesigning this set to suit my needs. And I'm not being selfish there, but I know that the reason that I am not a massive, how do I word this? I am a massive fan of this set. They're a really good set and they're a really good company. But for me, it lacks on a couple, and only a couple of points. One of the points is the surface skimmer, and the other one is the amount of water that evaporates using this set. Now, evaporation happens in tanks, especially when it's an open top tank like this. If there's a lid on it, you're not going to get much water evaporation, so that kind of knocks that. That's kind of a fix for that. But if you're into me, or you not into me, if you're like me and you have open top aquascapes, then you're going to get a certain amount of evaporation. But this set increases the amount of evaporation you can get, and you can already see that it's quite low already. And I'll explain that. That's the second point. The first point I want to touch on is this surface skimmer set. Now, this duct bill is an added extra that I put on. This is off an Oase Biomaster. This comes as standard with their sets. Duct bill, you can buy them separate from Amazon or eBay or your local stockist. That's even better if you can support your local shops. That just clips on there, and I'll explain that. That is on there only to help on water evaporation, and it does work. I'll explain why. But basically, imagine that sits on there. Now, this is the innovative part. I do struggle with that word, innovative. Basically, like all standard tanks, water comes up through the inflow, down into your filter, gets filtered out, back up, and out into the tank. Water gets cleaned here, both mechanically and biologically, and chemically if you use that sort of stuff. But most surface skimmers sit on this part somewhere. So it sits here. So not only does it suck water in, but it also sucks the surface scum, leaves, dead leaves, small leaves, up, down into the filter where it gets mechanically filtered, and clean, filtered water gets pumped back out into the tank. Great stuff, does all the work for you. This system from Aqua Rio, this part sits on the outflow. So this has positives and negatives. For me, it's a negative. It will surface skim and get rid of any biofilm that you have building up on the surface. And the way that works is your biofilm is here. It's just an oil slick of proteins, I think. Sits here. This, with the surface skimmer on, sucks it down, blasts it into the tank where it breaks up and finds its way into the inflow, into the filter where it gets held mechanically. Clear water gets pumped back. I had that on for a couple of weeks, and it kept the top clean that way. What it didn't get rid of, which it's not going to get rid of, my new plants are going for a little float around, is any dead leaves. So if, like me, you've got an aquascape with tiny little leaves, this is my Micranthium Monte Carlo, I've got Rotala needle leaf or Wallichi, and I've got Rotala green here, small leaves. When these die, they float to the top. On the surface skimmer, it gets sucked in, fired into the tank, doesn't get broken up. Some leaves will end up onto here and into the tank, don't get me wrong, that does work that way. But leaves that float just come up, back onto the top, and it just does this effect. It just recycles the dead plant matter. So it's not taking that away. That's the only downside to this. It will not get rid of any leaves off the top. I've had to go back to using, as you can see at the back there, an Eheim surface skim. That does both. It gets rid of anything off the top. So the biofilm, it gets rid of dead leaves. It keeps the top of the tank really clean, and it gives a little bit of extra flow. This is a 350 litre, I think, when it's fully open. So this pumps, it gives, if you want something that gives extra flow, it's great. I'm using a Biomaster 350, so I get the flow going this way, hits the back of the tank and back that way. This is sat on the back corner, this outflows on the near corner, so it goes this way over here, and this adds extra flow back there, so I get a good flow around the tank. I don't have that running while the CO2's on, because it's basically, well, I don't have it running while the CO2's on. I only have it running at night time, and it clears the surface. The system, the little skimmer set on this Aqua Rio, will get rid of the biofilm in the way that I described earlier, but it won't get rid of plant matter, so you have to manually pick them off or net them or whatever, whatever you do. And if you've got fish like me that love the taste of Micranthium Monte Carlo, as you can see on this back part here, my Siamese algae eaters, at first they were filling the bellies full of diatom algae, brown slime algae, all sorts in a new tank, and a lot of green algae they were cleaning up. But once that's all gone, they turn their attention, their bellies, towards Micranthium Monte Carlo, and as you can see there, they've totally wiped out this part here for some reason. I assume it's where the flow isn't as strong permanently. Anyway, so that's the first one, the surface skimmer. Yeah, bear that in mind if you are going to buy this set. The second issue I have with this, which is an issue that was brought to my attention by James, aka Fish Talk. Go and give him a follow on Instagram. And he mentioned in a comment about water evaporation will be heightened with this system, and he's absolutely bang on. As you can, well, as you can't see because you're on cam, you're looking at this, you're watching this through a film, through a video, but I have my tank water level around about 10 mil, 5 mil, 10 mil under the lip of the tank. This system, without that duck spill there, acts like a jet pipe. So what happens is, water comes back from the filter out here and blasts along here, which really does give you a good turbulence on the top. Great for gaseous exchange. You're getting loads of oxygen pulled in from the gas from the surface agitation. Loads of oxygen into the tank, which is really good for your beneficial bacteria, good for your plants, good for everything really. It's a good system. But the more surface agitation you get, the quicker the water evaporates. Open top tanks evaporate quicker anyway, but with this on, I was, before I put that duck spill on, just as is from the box, I was getting an evaporation of 5 to 7 litres per week, which is a lot. With a glass lily pipe, I was getting 2 litres per week, roughly. With this, 5 to 7, so 3 times as much evaporation using this set. With the addition of this Oase Biomaster duck spill that comes as standard with their sets, it just, what it does basically, if you imagine, without it on, water comes from the filter along the top, creates massive agitation there, so you get maximum flow here, hits the back and does this effect, or this effect. With this duck spill, it diverts the water down a little bit, so you get the water coming out and it does this. You get maximum flow here, and it lessens off as it gets to the top, so you get less surface agitation. With this duck spill on, I'm back to around about 2 litres, 3 litres per week. That's halved the amount I have to top up with just that little piece of plastic, even though I know it's not a big thing, but it's smoked plastic. This is clear, so you can see the difference. Might not be a big issue to some people. But little things nart me, and that's one of them. But yeah, so that's the other thing. So the two things that just drop points on this Aqua Rio Neo Flow set for me is the surface skimming effect. Good idea, but does let it down for me personally. Might not for you, might not be a deal breaker for you. For me it is. And also the jet pipe. If you want more flow, or you want to get maximum flow out of your filter, use this pipe. If you've already got a low, I know I keep going up and down, so I do apologise. If you've got a filter that gives off, you know, a little amount of flow, use a jet pipe, use a jet outlet. You'll get the maximum amount of pressure coming out of it. Works just like a hose pipe. When you close the hose pipe off, the end of the hose pipe, I should say, on water sprays, in a cone effect, you get a softened water flow. If you open it all the way up and you get the jet, it's quite a harsh flow, and it works exactly the same way with these pipes. So yeah, would I recommend it? Yes. For me personally, does it do the job for me? No, because I've had to go back to using that ugly thing in the back corner. But, like I say, Aqua Rio are a very innovative. I can't say it. They're very good at inventions, and they'll invent something that goes, or design something that goes on the inflow. So there you go. I'll have to go and practice that word, aren't I? So yeah, really good, really happy with it. Could be better. Dropped a couple of points. It's a solid 8 out of 10. Yeah, pick yours up from Horizon Aquatics today, as well as other good leading aquascaping stores. But yeah, Horizon do stock a lot of them, so brilliant. Take care everyone, thanks for watching, peace, bye bye.